I don't think so. I think for me, you look at what Raheem's schedule has been last season, losing the Champions League final, losing the Euros final, um, splitting with his agent, having 2 years to go on the back of a pandemic. Timing is everything. He should be in a very, very strong position to be either looking to re-sign or potentially leave Manchester City. But because of the lack of funds for a lot of the giants that can probably afford Raheem and that Raheem would be interested in going to, he's in a bit of a situation. He's in a bit of a pickle because he's got, 18, 20 months left on his contract. The usual clubs that might have been interested in him, Real Madrid, Barcelona, if he wants to try and prove himself in a different league, they haven't got the money. PSG probably wouldn't be interested because of their front three. And then you look at potential moves to the Premier League, and all of a sudden, the amount of clubs that could be interested in Raheem is very, very limited. So I think there's a lot going on with Raheem. I feel, bringing in the strength that with Grealish coming into the football club and how well he's hit the floor running at Manchester City, and the lack of football that Raheem's had. I think he's had 2 starts this season. I think it's a difficult time for him, and we've seen his performances in the Euros; they were superb. He's not really been given a good chance. Maybe that's because of mental fatigue after the tournament.
But Roy's right. Something's going on. Something's going on at City.
Maybe there's a little bit of
maybe
there's a little bit of a power struggle with the situation. But for me, it looks like he's in a bit of a tight corner at the moment because of the way of the world in football and the finances that are not knocking about. And I think he'd be in a lot stronger position if this happened maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
You see, this is the thing though, Trevor. If someone's looking to take on Raheem Sterling at the moment, are they taking him on because of what they see he does for England? Or are they taking him on because it's Raheem Sterling of Manchester City? It's got to be the first option at the moment.
Well, of course it is, because he's hardly played for Manchester City. He's played 2 games out of 7, and plus there's been Champions League games in there. So he's not been given a lot of opportunities. Neither has John Stones. John Stones played really well last night, scored a goal, was one of England's better performers. So I think you look at Raheem Sterling and for me, if I was a manager of another club or an owner of another club, and you look at what he's done over a decent period of time, he's a top player. It's as simple as that. And you would definitely...
World class, some might say.
Absolutely, Simon.
So
some might say that, and I'm one of them.
Simon, if you're a prospective buyer, are you looking at Raheem for England? Are you looking at Ramsey for Wales? Are you looking at Werner for Germany? You're not looking at Werner for Chelsea,
well,
are
they've
you?
got a back catalogue, haven't they, which you will know about as a matter of course. And given the fact they're at a certain stage in their career, certainly Raheem Sterling's only 26, isn't he? So you're not talking about someone that's run his course.
Right.
The question would have to abound, why are we even talking about Raheem Sterling leaving Man City? Reason why we're talking about Raheem Sterling having to leave Man City or potentially consider that as an option is because he's not playing. And why isn't he playing? Why isn't he playing? Because Pep doesn't want to pick him because his form doesn't dictate. There is an argument, which Trevor's about to spit the dummy across the room about, that some of the international games he's playing in are less competitive than the actual domestic games, and so the opposition he's playing against affords him the opportunity to look better playing for international football than it does domestic. You're playing for arguably the world's greatest coach. You can't get in the side. You haven't been able to get in the side for the best part of a year. I would suggest that it's about the player's form and where he really sits on the food chain of what Pep Guardiola thinks of him as a player. Now, that puts it into the situation where Trevor then becomes right about the conundrum for Manchester City. There's no conundrum for Raheem Sterling. He can sit there for 18 months, walk out the door and get every single last penny of any transfer fee in his pay packet.
Whilst potentially risking his World Cup place, though.
That's true.
He'll want to play, though, Simon. I mean, he'll want to play,
if
obviously.
he wants to play, then he'll have to convince his coach that he's good enough to play.
But he's good enough for England, but not good enough for City.
Well, there's an argument to suggest that in the positions that he plays for England and the way that they're accommodating Grealish into the framework is very different to the way that Manchester City want to accommodate Jack Grealish into their side, and Raheem Sterling is the casualty of that. And Raheem Sterling, because of performances in the European Championships, is afforded a luxury that potentially many players wouldn't be afforded, which is, do you get picked for international teams based upon your performance, or do you get picked for international teams based upon your history? Because at this moment in time, he can't be being picked on form, can he?
No.
Because he's not playing domestically.
Similar to other players, though, because you look at Jordan Pickford.
Absolutely.
And I think Gareth knows the players that he relies on, trusts, and that have never let him down. And I think Raheem falls into one of them players. When you look at what's going on at Manchester City, for me, different strokes for different blokes. And Pep likes what Grealish brings to the team on that left-hand side. So Raheem's not getting a lot of opportunities. And until Jack's
Is Jack world class?
Jack's got potential to be world class. He's not done it at the highest level for long enough.
He's keeping someone out of the team that is world class.
Well, listen, that's just your way of putting it, Simon.
how else would I put it?
Exactly.
Jack Grealish, who you just said isn't world class, is keeping Raheem Sterling out of the team, who is world class.
Trevor,
But
does Raheem go in the
you might
next
as well
window?
flip that on its head for England, because Grealish wasn't playing on the left for England
Does he go in the next window, Raheem?
in the Euros.
Does he go in the next window?
I don't think anyone's got the money. I think if anything, he would go on loan, and possibly to Spain, Barcelona, I'd say.
Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.